Services. Question number 2, David Shearer.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. My question is to the Prime Minister. Does he stand by his statement, quote, National will deliver a strong, stable government and build a stronger economy with less debt and more jobs?
The Right Honourable Prime Minister.
Mr. Speaker, yes.
The Leader of the Opposition, David Shearer.
Thank you, Speaker. Does he take seriously the question of whether the Maori Party will continue to be bound to his government for confidence and supply? And if so, is he confident that they will?
The Right Honourable Prime Minister.
Mr. Speaker, yes, I'm confident they will.
The Leader of the Opposition.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Has he discussed with Maori Party co-leader Tariana Turia her comments in relation to Section 9 of the SOE Act that she is, quote, not one prone to idle threats, unquote, and if so, what was the result of that discussion?
The Right Honourable Prime Minister.
Mr. Speaker, no, not specifically in relation to that comment, but I think what the co-leader of the Maori Party was saying is that they take that issue seriously. Government's going through a 2-week consultation process, and I'm very confident we'll come out with an elegant solution at the end of it.
Mr. Speaker.
The Right Honourable Winston Peters.
In the negotiations for the formation of the government, did the Maori Party raise that issue in those discussions, yes or no?
The Right Honourable Prime Minister.
Mr. Speaker, no.
The Leader of the Opposition.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Does he stand by his statement of this morning that, quote, they're bound with us for confidence and supply, which is effectively the budget, and the mixed ownership stuff doesn't flow through the budget?
The Right Honourable Prime Minister.
Mr. Speaker, yes, I do, in so much that they're not bound by the mixed ownership model legislation, which will fall outside of the budget.
The Leader of the Opposition.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Did he read the government's budget papers, which show that the next 5 years' capital budgets rely on the sale of public assets?
The Right Honourable Prime Minister.
Mr. Speaker, yes, and that's probably one of the reasons why we have 59 MPs and the Labour Party has very few. And that's, Mr. Speaker, because New Zealanders want less debt, more productive assets, and an economy that's going to function, not a load more debt, as Phil Goff was promising, and I've no doubt David Shearer is as well.
Speaker.
The Leader of the Opposition.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Order. I've called the Leader of the Opposition.
How will he make a treaty clause apply just to the Crown's share of the SOEs when the actions of the privatised SOEs will affect both the Crown and private shareholders alike?
The Right Honourable Prime Minister.
Mr. Speaker, the treaty is a compact between the Crown and Maori, and that what the government will be aiming to do is to spell out that very clearly in the section that will then apply to the mixed ownership model.
Speaker.
The Leader of the Opposition.
Does he accept that his determination to push ahead with asset sales is creating instability in his government?
The Right Honourable Prime Minister.
Mr. Speaker, not in the slightest. I accept what it will do. Is deliver a country which has less debt than it would under Labour, a government that will deliver for New Zealanders something to invest in other than failed finance companies which were overseen by the previous Labour government, entities that will deliver well, and I say to that member the same thing I used to say to Phil Goff. If you don't like the mixed ownership model, put up your policy to buy back the bit of Air New Zealand we don't own.
The Right Honourable Winston Peters.
Could I ask the Prime Minister, if the Maori Party campaigned against asset sales and if the United Party was committed to ensuring that water was regarded as a strategic asset, then where does he get his majority from to make the assertions he's making around the country of having public support?
Before I call the Right Honourable Prime Minister, obviously he's not responsible for what either the Māori Party or the ACT Party campaigned on. No. But the latter part of the question can be answered. The Right Honourable Prime Minister.
Mr. Speaker, as part of the confidence supply agreements put together between National, ACT and United, we secured support for the mixed ownership legislation. That's 61. That's a majority.
Question number 3, Dr. Russell Norman.